Former Tottenham boss Harry Redknapp. Harry, good morning, Harry.
Morning.
Let's start with last night, can we? Because Arsenal had a cracking performance up at Anfield, came back, played two wide players. Now, maybe it's easy to say it's sitting in an armchair watching telly, but after about 35-40 minutes, I'm like, you got to change this. You can't play the two wide players. You know, Saka's a great player, and Martinelli for me was their best player, but they were getting stuffed in the middle of the centre of midfield, and I'm like, come on, change it, Mikel, and he didn't.
Yeah. No, after that probably our first 15 minutes or 20 minutes when they started well, Arsenal, it was once Liverpool scored, it was game over, wasn't it? They were too strong, looked too professional, experienced. I mean, it's a young Arsenal team, isn't it? And you'd have thought, maybe you've got to fill that midfield up. That's where games are won and lost, isn't it? Control the game.
Harry, cracking London derby Sunday. Spurs, brilliant comeback. I mean, to go to Leicester and score 2 late goals and puts him in a great position with the games in hand. Now, Chelsea, going for that little bit of an indifferent part of the season. Some of the results don't stack up to how the performances have been. But how do you see this one going? Because the Carabao Cup 2 games in the semi-final, Chelsea was so much better than Spurs.
They murdered them, didn't they, at Chelsea? I mean, that was absolutely 2-0, but it could have been 4 or 5, really. You still got to fancy Chelsea, haven't you? I mean, Tottenham have had a decent little run and been, a great result for them the other night to come from behind. The game was looked over, didn't it? Suddenly you think, they've got a point. What a fantastic point for them to pinch at the end, but then to go and win the game was incredible. But no, I'm sure Tottenham will go there and put up a much better performance than they did in the Carabao Cup. So we'll have to see. But I'd still fancy Chelsea at home.
14 horses, 3 greyhounds. Dear Harry,
and a bulldog.
Harry, I have to disagree. I fancy Tottenham. I think the job that Conte's done. 9 games in the Premier League, 6 wins and 3 draws. Just looking at the Chelsea, and one of the reasons is looking at this Chelsea side without Chilwell and Reece James as wing backs. I don't think they've got that cutting edge in the final third, and I think that's why Lukaku's suffering so much, because it's almost there too narrow. Do you think when it starts to the team starts to look disjointed and not look dangerous going forward, is this a time that Thomas Tuchel needs to change the shape slightly?
Well, he could do, or he could go and get a Trevor Sinclair to play right wing back.
Graveyard shift, that.
You loved it. You were brilliant there. But I don't know. I mean, I think they are short. When he plays at that right hand side, they certainly missed Reece James. Bomb and Chilwell, 2 incredible wing backs for him. So that is a big loss. But I'd still fancy Chelsea myself. I'd like to see Tottenham go there and do it, but I still. Looking at that first game in the Carabao Cup, I think Chelsea seem to have the voodoo sign over them, and I think it'll be a tough game for Tottenham. But Tottenham have improved; they're going okay. I wouldn't say they've been great. I think they've clawed out results, but there's a big gap between the top, isn't there? Man City,
miles.
Man City, a different level.
Harry, that Brighton game, Chelsea-Brighton, I'm not trying to put more pressure on Chelsea, but for me, the body language of some of the players, I think there's a problem in the dressing room.
Oh, my God. I tell you what, when he scored the goal.
Off.
Eh? I mean, what was wrong with him? And then when he come off.
With Lukaku.
The other, what's his name?
That's H, but him and Lukaku were arguing and going down the tunnel, weren't they?
I know.
But do you know what, Lukaku, and I get your point, Trev, about service and how they're playing, but at the moment I'm calling Lukaku the wall. The ball gets played up to him, comes straight back off him.
Absolutely.
Look at Harry, the way he holds it. Kane, the way he holds it, where he gets his body in the way, he's strong and he keeps possession. Lukaku's the opposite at the moment. It's a part of his game he could really improve on.
Harry Kane was fantastic the other night, I thought, against Leicester. I know he hit a few shots over the bar in decent positions, but his general play and the goal was absolutely top drawer. What a finish. There's no comparison between the two front men. Harry Kane's on another level to Lukaku.
Just some breaking news, Harry. Lloris Hugo has signed a new contract at Spurs until 2024, so they've sorted that out. But what about the Everton? What should Everton do here?
Lloris Hugo. You just said Lloris Hugo's just signed a new contract.
Oh, it don't matter.
I said, who's he?
All right.
I thought he's another horse, Harry. Is that another horse you got?
What about some of the players' backs then? Do they have always their surname on the back, or do they have the front name first? Do they? There you go.
Brilliant.
Percentage is the surname.
No, they don't. No. You have to have a look at the shirts, right?
It's a good contract Lloris has got as well.
Back to before I was rudely interrupted, Harry. What about Everton? Right? Frank's had a mention.
Yeah.
Caravano's had a mention. He was in China or something. Shouldn't they just have Rooney and Big Duncan, let them get on with it and get a bit of spunk back into that side?
Well, I think Wayne's done an incredible job in it at Derby. They always kept that going in the circumstances they've been under this year. It's just been incredible. And I must be honest, I spent a bit of time at Soccer Aid this year, sat and had a coffee with him a couple of times. I was really impressed with Wayne Rooney. Absolutely so into his job and what he was doing there and how he'd done it. And I think he's got a good future. He's done a brilliant job at Derby and he deserves the opportunity to. I think the fans would love him to go back there, wouldn't they? I mean, if he went back to Everton, it'd be a fantastic, great homecoming for him.
Harry, just going back to West Ham, obviously started the season really well, through to the last 16 in the Europa. It's going to stretch the squad. Do you think they need to strengthen, and what are their chances this weekend against Manchester United? Obviously a massive game.
Well, I think they've got a chance, against Man United, Trev. I think, I've seen it early in the season when they went up there and was it in the Carabao Cup? They beat them one night and played well, and then at home against them, they played well. I think West Ham can give anybody a game, can't they? They really do look a good side when everybody's fit. But they've got a problem. If they lose, obviously, Antonio, they've got no real cover there now. Bowen's, what a revelation
fabulous.
He's been, Bowen. I mean, what a signing he was, And even they've lost their two central defenders. And Dawson's been outstanding. What a signing he was from Watford. Yeah. But they are a bit stretched at the moment, and I would like to see them go and get one or two in the window to strengthen the squad. And if they do that, again, they'll be in the running for that fourth spot. It's wide open.
Who are you going to go for, Harry? Just quickly on the fourth spot. Do you think Spurs are massive favourites now?
Yeah, I do. I do fancy Tottenham a little bit for that position. I do. But listen, Man United, as I say, Man United, West Ham, any of them could certainly. It's wide open. I think there's no one jumps out at you and looks a certainty. But if I had to put my life on it, I think I'd probably just about go with Tottenham.
Harry, have a great weekend. Appreciate
Good luck,
it again.
lads.
Thank you.
Cheers, Harry.
GG.
Have a good day. Bye, boys.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.